What's up? Thanks for tuning in. If you are interested in creating a play space that is clutter free and that inspires creativity and independence for your child, then creating a Montessori inspired play space is definitely the way to go. And in this video, I'm going to share some fundamentals that you will need to know before setting up, so that way you can make the most use out of this space and really understand what it means to make a Montessori play space. Now, forgive me, I am actually holding my camera in my classroom because I wanted to kind of give you a glimpse of what the Montessori classroom is all about. And so anyways, forgive if the camera kind of tends to move just a little bit. I'll do my best to keep it still. It's gonna be a workout. But anyways, all right, so let's get to it. If you're new here, my name is Rena Etienne, Montessori teacher, here to help you grow in your homeschool and parenting journey. Welcome to my channel, A Little Room to Grow. All right, so let's talk about some of the fundamentals of what makes a Montessori play space. As I said, I am in the classroom, so that way I can give you a glimpse of what the overall classroom shelf setup looks like, because that's what the Montessori play space is all about. Is just basically replicating what the prepared environment, which is a Montessori classroom, what the open shelf concept, where everything is available for the kids to easily take and put away on their own and to also work independently. So let's go see, so you'll know what I'm talking about, to help you give you a visual of what you are going to be making an inspired space by. So here is our art and practical life area. Here's our pre-Montessori area, which this is basically what the Montessori play spaces kind of resemble, is basically lessons that are Montessori-inspired, that do not require certified teachers to present to the child, and they're basically self-explanatory toys that the child can take out and work on their own. Then we have here our sensorial area, which, yes, these are typical Montessori lessons that do require certified teachers to present to children, so you would not necessarily set up your play shelf with all the other lessons that you'll see here in the rest of the classroom. This is our cultural geography area. Back here is our math area, and then the math wraps up over here and then flows right into the language area. And here is our little mini science area, which is definitely an area I would like to continue to expand. And here they learn about anatomy and the solar system and the different parts of the animals and things like that. So the common theme of the prepared environment in a Montessori classroom is that all of the furniture is child size, and all of the lessons are not cluttered on the shelf. If you notice, they all have some space in between each other, right? And this makes it easy for a child to be able to take and put away on their own. Then you have space for movement, so the children can work on the mats. Now in our classroom this year in particular, we only have 2 tables here in practical life, and the rest of the tables we actually have we set up right outside of these 3 windows that we have in our classroom, so that our children are able to have mask breaks basically. Oh, forgot to mention a little reading nook / peace corner here. And that's basically what you're going to try to replicate in the Montessori inspired play space that you're going to set up. Now let's get into some of the key components that you'll need to keep in mind before setting up your child's play space. So as previously shown, open space is important so your child is able to have some room for movement. Sometimes with play, some large movements kick in, and you want to make sure that you have some space for that, so your child doesn't knock things over, you know, that they are safe and that they are able to realistically be free to just move about, which is a large part of play. You'll definitely need a child size open shelf. Now the shelf is going to come down to the age that your child is. If you have a baby or toddler at home, then the height of that shelf is definitely going to be much shorter than if you have a preschooler at home. Check out the resources in the description that will help you find some beautiful shelves for baby and toddler, or for your preschooler, and that way you can get some age-appropriate shelves that are safe, durable, and beautiful. Also, table and chair would be great in the play space, especially if you're going to do some arts and crafts and things like that. A reading nook would be great. A little reading nook would allow for them to just kind of hang out, take out a book on their own, and to start gaining an early love of reading on their own without you having to always sit down with them and read a book. And most importantly, one of the secrets to having a cluttered free space, if you have a lot of toys that you know that your child could use, is to have like a little mini storage area. And this could be an area where your child would not be able to get to. You know, it's going to be like your secret stash where you'll be able to basically rotate some of the toys, so that way you don't have everything out on the shelf. Your child does not need to have all of their options out. The more simple that you keep it, the much easier it is for them to gain some orderly habits like cleaning up after themselves. Now in the next video in this series, I will be talking more about the rotation area and how you're gonna go about managing keeping the space cluttered free. So hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on that upcoming video and others like it. And lastly, you're gonna think about setting up the play shelf with age-appropriate toys. And now that's very important because you don't want for your child to have overly complicated toys on the shelf or things that are too simple. You want to meet them exactly where they're at in their interest and age development. So let's say if you have a toddler at home, you know, you're gonna look into getting toys that are toddler appropriate, right? You're not gonna get them things that are intended for like a 5 or 6 year old, right? So yes, of course, you want to keep your child challenged, and that will come later on when you start to observe your child in this space, and you'll start to see where you can meet your child in building their skill level. But for now, you definitely want to think about having age-appropriate toys and keeping them at a minimum. So lastly, when you're going to set up this space, you are thinking about your child only. This space is not for you and for your child to play in. This space is actually for your child to basically gain some independence and creativity, and they won't be able to do that if you're constantly in their way, right? And so when you are setting up this space, you're not going to be thinking about how you want the space to look for yourself and how you would want things to work for you in there. You're thinking about your child and what is age appropriate, what makes the most sense, and what's comfortable for them, right? So be careful when you are setting up the decor aspect, right? You don't necessarily want to have things that are heavy on the walls and just components around the space that are not safe, because you want them to look aesthetically to your liking. This is again a safe space that your child can work in independently so that they can gain creativity and independence from their own self-discoveries. All right, so those were the main components that goes into setting up a Montessori-inspired play space. Now there are a few more things that you're gonna wanna know that will help you make the most out of this space so that it could be functional for your child. And again, that will come in the following videos in this series. Now, if you're feeling charged and you're like, all right, I am ready to do this. I want to reorganize my child's place right now, but I still need a little bit more guidance. Well, check out my eCourse page that you'll find in the description below. In there, you'll find the eCourses on how to create a play and learn space for babies all the way up to preschoolers. And in there, you'll use a 5-step guide to help you transform your child's play space, how to maintain the space, what to look out for to meet your child's interests, and so much more. So check out the eCourse so that you can transform your child's play space the Montessori way. All right, well, thanks again for tuning in. I hope that this was insightful. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you found some value in it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Whew, my arms are tired.